Hey guys, I'm Dee Dee.
I'm Chris.
And we are Catch Up with Hines. Hey y'all, we took a much needed break, but we are back with another video. So we went on our Instagram and asked our followers and just asked everyone what did they want to know, because this video today is all about relationship advice. Before we get started, disclaimer, we are not professionals. All opinions formed will be our personal feelings, our personal opinions, and what we've been through and what we experienced personally. So we are not professionals, so don't take everything that we say to the extreme. It's just our opinion. So like I said, video will be on relationship advice. This will definitely be a two-part series because we got some good ones here today. So if you want to continue on watching this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. Our goal is to hit 100 by the end of December. Let's just say 100 subscribers by the end of December. We got a lot of work to do. We're at 82 right now. Let's try to get 100. All right, without further ado, let's get it. The first one that we're going to touch on is, what do you define as a successful relationship? So what does a relationship look like to you? You want to go first?
Yeah, so, how I feel about it is, before you can think about getting into a successful relationship, you have to have a relationship with yourself first. Take care of yourself and love yourself first. Because, going into a relationship, trying to get to learn the other person is always important, but it's going to be hard for you to do that when you don't know yourself, you know what I mean? So that's really how I feel about it, because you got, a few people out here, or whoever may be watching, you may feel the same way, that there may not be a significant other out there for yourself, because you just got a lot of doubt in yourself. Probably you've been through a lot of relationships where, you've been in and out of them and it wasn't working out, and, the blame may be on that person or on yourself, but at the end of the day, you really got to start with yourself, you know what I mean? Because that may not even always be the answer. You can probably, love yourself to the fullest, but relationships still don't work out for yourself. That just comes with it.
For me, just like Chris said, the relationship starts with yourself. Like, if you're not one within yourself, then you really can't give yourself to another person. And that's, that would be kind of selfish, because say if that person is giving their all to you, and because of, what you got going on internally, you really can't give yourself or receive what they're giving to you, to the relationship. So it's just something where, like, you have to just make sure, like, yes, hey, I'm ready for this. Okay, am I ready for this? Like, you got to ask yourself these questions and just make sure that you are ready with every little single thing, no matter what you've been through in the past. Just don't bring, like, your past baggage to, like, your new relationship if you are getting in a new relationship. So, yeah. This one, they all kind of tie into each other. Intellectual stimulation, mentally stimulated, emotional intelligence. They all go hand in hand together in a relationship. So for intellectual stimulation, I feel like that comes with, if you're first meeting a person, just those get to know you questions to see if y'all are, like, into each other, if you have the same interests in things. It's almost like the, hey, Chris liked football, and when we was talking, he like, hey, I like football. I like football too. So that's something that we're mutually interested in, that we can have, like, meaningful conversations on. That's just sports in general. But if you want to take it a step further, if you take it into things that, like, you're really interested in, like, outside of sports. So anything that you like, I just feel like it comes with, like, the questions, instead of just saying, hey, I like how that person looks, and just disregard everything that they got going on up here. Because you can be attracted to a person, but if they don't have the same interests as you, then how are y'all going to have that connection?
Also, piggybacking off that, it's also good to, pick their brain and see what they know that you don't know that could possibly interest you. Because, learning is also another thing that can, help build a relationship when you can, we have multiple things that you can learn from somebody that you could possibly be interested in. Say for instance, there's something, off the top of the head that she likes and that she's into, but I've never, stepped out there or been involved or interacted with those things in life, but it makes you curious about, knowing more of what she knows.
So you
or
want to
he
learn
knows.
it, like you want to learn, yeah.
Yeah, and that can definitely, help build a relationship also when there's also you got the things that y'all interested in that y'all know that y'all can do together, but then also things that y'all know that y'all can learn from each other down the road. If it's something that she was going to school for, and I'm like, damn, I could probably pick up a few things off that, help her out, and in the process of helping her out, I'm learning in the same breath, and we also build that same interest in something else. Like, yeah, so pretty much what I'm saying is, you'll be learning from each other, from those questions, finding what you like about each other, but then find something that you both can learn together and find new interests in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That definitely helps also.
The next one is emotional intelligence. So again, that goes with the mind. So like the emotional intelligence thing is just how like someone reacts, like how are their behaviors, how can they make, personal decisions to try to achieve like a positive outcome. So for me, I think, I don't think, but I know everyone has emotions. Everyone has emotions and everyone shares their emotions in different ways. So with that being said, like some people know how to verbalize, some people don't know how to verbalize their emotions. So I know for me, just being in a relationship with Chris itself has been a learning experience, because I know in the beginning, and I still kind of have that problem, but I know I'm getting better. I know for me and my emotions, if I'm mad about or irritated about something, I completely shut down. I use silence treatment, all that. I just won't talk to you. But I realize, like, or even if I'm mad about something and I lash out and say something, like, Chris holds me accountable, and that's something that I've learned in this relationship. Like, I've learned just holding my, just the whole accountability aspect. So like he'll say, hey, I didn't like the way you said that to me. And I'm like, dang, like you sit there and think about it, like, okay, he verbalized that he didn't like something that I said to him. Like, okay, let me apologize. Let me try to fix myself. Let me try to be better. And even if like I'm irritated or I don't like something, I can be able to verbalize like, hey, I don't like the way you did this, or I don't like X, Y, and Z. And we can just come to a solution and don't even have to go through the whole silent treatment and not talking and just having that built up wall of just anger around. I'm able to, verbalize what I'm feeling. So that, just the whole emotional thing is not only verbal, it's just, your actions. What are you showing? How is your face? Like with your tone when you're talking. So that all ties into each other.
I think it's best, going off what she said again, with the whole, just putting it out there, which is a great thing to do for yourself, because you, like she said, you don't want that wall of negative energy, stemming off of something that's not even major for real, something slight. So, with that being said, I feel like, whenever you are telling somebody, about, it rubbed you the wrong way. I feel like for me, which works is it's best not to beat the other person over the head with it, once that thing does come up. Because, 9 times out of 10, whenever somebody says something, well, I can't say 9 times out of 10, but most of the time, when somebody do come out or say or do something that wasn't right, there's something in the back of their head that tells them, like, hey, that was too much, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. So, if you do come to something, just know or just had that feeling where, like, you know, they kind of know what they said was wrong, and just go out there and just let them know, like, hey, I know that you also know that was kind of, you know, a little too much, you know what I'm saying? Like,
harsh.
yeah. So, but that's all I really gotta say about that. Just don't, you know.
Just try your best to understand someone emotionally. And it goes vice versa. Like, if someone is overly emotional or very open with their emotions, they wear their hearts on their sleeve, you can't fault that person on, you know, just being that type of person. And you can't fault the other person if they're very close in with their emotion. They're kind of hard to open up with. That comes with time, unfortunately. But if y'all stay the course and keep, you know, just keep being communicative with just how you express and just overall things in the relationship, I think everything should be fine and dandy.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't really, you know, react the same to really somebody. I don't want to say put them in their place, but, you know, let them know what's going on, because you got people out here that also will, you know, fight back about it more, you know, be more defensive about something that you tell them, you know, because, you know, not everybody takes that well when you're trying to correct the situation. So like I said, man, to avoid, you know, any further drama, when there is drama, just let them know that, you know, out the gate, you know what I'm saying, don't hold on to it and bring it up later, because that's even worse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Harboring.
if a situation pops off and then you hold how you feel about it and wait till like later, either later on that day or later on that week, and then bring it back up, it's like, because then now to the other person, it's like you being petty now, because, you know, why you gotta bring it up now? I'm over it. But, you know, you still got feelings about it. So it's best to just, if it does happen, let it be known right then and there.
Yep.
And then move on.
So the next one is mental connection. So basically the mental connection portion is just the shared interest, similar intellect and chemistry. That's just what it is in a nutshell. So I know for me, just that mental connection, that comes with being emotionally connected too. So literally what we just said about the whole emotional thing, it comes with the mental as well. Because if you're on the same page, like, you can feel for that person. Like, you can feel for your significant other. Also, being mentally connected, like, you literally get each other. Like, you literally get each other. Like, that is your person. Like, not trying to sound cliche, like, you finish each other's sentences. Like, you know what the other person is thinking. And that just comes with just being open with each other, and then just having those conversations so you can, like, literally get to know that person that you want to be involved with. So, like, just being mentally connected, that's like a whole nother world of things that works for you. Because it's, you know, just like, again, if something, you know, if someone said something wrong or if they did something wrong, like, in the back of my head, I'll be like, okay, I know I just messed up, and I know he's not gonna like that. Let me try to rectify that now. Or if I know I'm having a bad day and Chris will come in, he can automatically sense my vibe is not the best right now. Okay, let me see what I can do to try to get her back happy or try to make her day a little bit better.
Yeah, you know, just putting the effort forward. You know, sometimes you gotta step out there and, you know, help your significant other or whoever you're dealing with at the time, man. Just, you know, be sure that they feel also, and that, you know, you got to keep their head on straight also. Make sure you check in with them, make sure everything's straight mentally with them, you know. Because there's been times when, you know, I just check in with her now and then and see, you know, where her head at, if she ever looks off. I just want to make sure she's good mentally, you know. So,
mental health check.
He's
always asking, how you feeling? What's your mental health? What is your mental health like? Like, you know, what's going on? How are you feeling today? What's going on? Talk to me. Let's sit down and talk. So I really, like, appreciate those things, because a lot of people don't ask those things. And it's just like, I'm just very appreciative that like I can be open with Chris and say, hey, not feeling my best today. Like, it's just not one of those days where I'm like really feeling myself. And I can be able to verbalize that and be like, hey, this is what I got going on. This is why. And he receives it and he accepts it and he gives me something to kind of think back on, or kind of just, you know, just give me something to think about and try to find a solution on how he can make my day better, and vice versa. Sometimes I'm like, hey, you know, what's going on? How you feeling? Because your vibe, I don't like this right now. And he'll say, hey, I'm not feeling myself today. And we do the same thing. So we always try to make sure we have those check-ins, because like, yes, in relationship, the physical is there. Like, you can be physically attracted to someone, but that period can dry up. Appearances change all the time. But if you don't have that mental, emotional connection, it's just another person there. But if you're not like connected with that person, then honestly, what do you have? So that's why like being emotionally, mentally connected with your significant other or whoever you want to be in a relationship with is very key, because if you don't have that, you really don't. You have a situationship. You have an entanglement. You have an entanglement. Yes, I'm with that. You have an entanglement. Thoughts are on how to spot red flags in a relationship. I know for me, like, that's just something very big that comes with relationships, on how to spot red flags. Like, there are some deal breakers no matter what, and some people like truly ignore the red flags. And it's literally like all about like behaviors, and you know, how does a person say things to you? Like, how are their actions towards you? It's just like a number of things that comes with like the red flags. But people ignore the red flags because they are blinded by love in a sense. But it's almost like, you know, is the love worth me being miserable in my relationship? That's just something to kind of think on right there. And it's just like, again, like the behaviors, like, you know, what am I, you know, is my love that I'm giving out or whatever that I'm giving being reciprocated? Like, those are questions that you need to ask yourself in terms of like just spotting the red flags. Because overall, like, if a relationship is toxic, then it's not going to be good for your mental health and just your well-being in itself. That's just like a situation where you just have to get yourself out of, and you can get yourself out of a toxic relationship due to, you know, just seeing those different red flags and just seeing those different things and different patterns, because the patterns will keep repeating itself. Because some people are very narcissistic when it comes to things like that. They'll show you one thing, and when you're ready to leave, they'll try to hop back in and, hey, I love you and this and that, can't live without you, to try to reel you back in. And that's a red flag in itself. You're doing things to purposely, you know, make me mad or disrespect the relationship. And as soon as I'm ready to go out the door, you reeling me back on, and I'm gonna believe it, because that's what you've been showing me the whole time.
A good place to pick up on red flags is the way that they treat close friends and family members. Is also another place where you can pick up on red flags. You know, because they know them best, and they also know them best. They know what ticks them off, or whatever that is. Like, you know, it may be cliche, but you know, how they treat, you know, say for instance me, you know, how I would treat my mother and speak to my mother is, you know, will be reflective of how I would treat and speak to her.
Yeah.
Also in the same breath. You know what I mean? It's just, I'm gonna just speak from a male's perspective. You know what I mean? Like, especially that'll be a good point. Is, you know, of course, like I said, it's cliche, but it definitely is definitely a thing where
Treat your mom is how you gonna treat your girl.
Yeah, mothers.
Whoever you gonna be with.
Possibly, you know, sisters. If I was to have a sister, how would treat my sister? You know what I mean? it's definitely different levels to the red flags. I feel like, you know, say for instance, I'm gonna just put a hypothetical out there, like my mother, right? You know, a red flag, if she was searching for any, you know, how to pick up on a red flag is, you know, how I interact with my mother, which would be the love and respect portion that I would have for my mother. Say for instance now, like if if I for my sister also, you know, it's more so she's closer to me in age. So it's like, you know, the conversations, how I carry conversations with my sister. You know what I mean? Like little stuff like that is where you can sit back and study a person, you know, how they treat those people in their family. For her, you know, the relationship that she has with her father, how strong was the relationship with her father? You know what I mean? How, you know, and also the relationship that he has with her is also another important thing. Because with females, I feel like, and this is just coming from my perspective, it's very, that father-daughter relationship is real delicate, you know what I mean? And how that he carries her is something that you can also pick up on. It's not necessarily always how, you know, the red flags coming from her, but also from within the family, you know what I mean? Like,
how they brought up.
Yeah, how they brought up, because if you seeing not only red flags can be found in the person, but the people that, you know, that surround her, was in the process of molding that person, can also be a red flag also. You know what I mean? Because if he has like, and this is not in her case anyway, I'm not even going to use her. Say for instance that you, as a male, you looking into a female, and you see that her and, you know, the father figure, I put it like that, father figure in her life, their relationship is, you know, it's kind of rocky. But then, you know, you get to learn more into their relationship of how he treats her, you know. For me, it was definitely a good experience getting to learn her father, you know, because in a relationship that he has with her, and how much that he cares for her. Because, you know, like I said, that's also another place where you can find red flags at, outside of, because it's not always going to be seen through the person that you're speaking to. It can also be seen through the family, because a household is very important to the building process of that person. You know what I mean? So you can learn a lot from family members that you wouldn't necessarily pick up on from her, because if that was a situation, she wouldn't necessarily tell me everything, you know, that she's been through in life, and you wouldn't really pick that up off of a week's worth of conversations with her. You know what I mean? Like, so if I do happen to just sit back and study the family and how they grew together, it's like you can pick up things that, like I said, I couldn't get with her for just talking to her for like a week or a month. You know what I mean? So, because either she hasn't gotten around to it, or she's just not comfortable with telling me those type of, with sharing those type of things. So, like I said, you know, it's definitely best to, friends and family is definitely one of those things where you can also pick up red flags at.
Just to kind of piggyback on, then we're going to move on, but just like the negative side of like the red flags when it comes to like a person that you're in a relationship with, or like trying to get in a relationship with, they kind of clock your moves. So like they become like very toxic to the point where like you can't even see your family and friends. Like they're always asking you where you are, like they gaslight you. Like it's just a lot of things where that's just like a sign that says get out now, like get up out of this right now, because I can't even see my friends or family. You tripping. That's where I got to go. So it's just like, if it ever gets to that point.
Now that's more so like we talking about like types of red flags now. It's not like the question was like, you know, how do you find those? But then of course
that is the type.
Yeah, we can definitely get into like the types of red flags for y'all, you know, some other time, but because that can get real deep, you know what I'm saying? The types of red flags is something that's a whole nother story.
Rabbit hole of things.
Yeah.
But that's just something like a negative, like a toxic thing that you can spot within like the red flags, where like you gotta get out. Seriously. Yeah. All right, so we're going to move on now. Okay, so this one is, what are our thoughts on sex before marriage? Do you do it or don't do it? You want to start first or want me to go first?
You can go first.
Okay, so my personal opinion on that is it's all about preference, honestly. If you and your significant other are like on a spiritual journey where you two have like made the decision like, hey, we're not having sex until we get married. I want us to grow more. I want us to grow together more spiritually and mentally and emotionally, not in the physical aspect. And that's what you two commit to. Hey, I'm all for it. Because again, it's all about preference. Some people who do have sex before marriage, again, that's a preference. But on that, you still have to connect with that person that, you know, you're trying to be in a relationship or you're going to be in a relationship with. Because again, the physical can be there, but the physical can wear out. If all you can offer is sex, what else are you bringing to the table? Because again, they can find sex somewhere else if you're not, you know, if you can't really bring anything to the table. If you're not bringing anything in the mental, emotional, like if you can't bring me anything of substance, then I could find that somewhere else. And again, the sex before marriage thing, that's just a whole preference thing, in my opinion.
Like she said, it's really a preference thing, you know. I could tell you right now, you know, just to answer the question, should you or should, I could say, yeah, you should. But then that type of advice definitely wouldn't work for everybody else. Just as long as in the same breath, I can say, nah, you shouldn't. And it still wouldn't work for people because, like, you got certain, it's definitely a filling out process. I feel like when it comes to that question, honestly, between should you or should you not, it's definitely gotta feel right. It's gotta be there. It's definitely gotta be a conversation that you have from the beginning. You know, it's not like, you know, you talking to somebody and y'all talking for a few weeks, not even a whole month, probably like 2 to 3 weeks y'all talking, and then you know, it may happen to come up like, you know, should we or should we not? You know what I mean? I feel like that shouldn't even be like a question. I feel like it should just flow.
Yeah, it should just happen organically.
Yeah, it like she just said, it happens okay. Now, what you can do is, at the beginning of the relationship, in the talking process, you can ask that person how do they feel about it.
Yeah.
That's a good way to go into it.
And you get a good feel on, you know, their opinions. And, you know, if you are really like into the person, you can probably learn like, hey, okay, I want to make this commitment because I really like this person. I'm going to make this commitment to them. Or like, yes, you have the same interest and everything. That can be, sex before marriage can be a deal breaker just as anything else. Like, you are really into that person, but they are completely against sex before marriage, and that can be like, dang, like, you know, I really like that person, but if, you know, if we not gonna have sex, then what we gonna do? And that's how some people mindset work, and that's okay. And just like how some people don't want to have sex before marriage, that is okay. Again, it's preference. That's just something that they like. Some people might not like it. That's just a preference.
Definitely feel like, you know, when you're trying to learn each other, that's a good, you know, way to start off, you know, getting to know each other. They can be like, well, you know, I wouldn't want to do that, you know, before marriage. And it's like, that can, like she said, that can definitely be a deal breaker, you know. She could be looking for sex and he could be, you know, more conservative and be like, nah, I wouldn't wait. And then for her, that'll be like a deal breaker. That'll be best rather than going weeks on talking and building feelings for each other. And then, you know, once that comes up, after y'all done built up feelings for each other, to find that out is gonna be like, you know, it's gonna be more of a blow to you, you know. So to avoid that from happening, just nip that in the bud early, you know what I mean? Just try to figure out, I'm not saying like, you know, first conversation you have,
Like, all right,
you
so
know,
what's up with sex before marriage? But it's
yeah,
like, man,
yeah,
we gotta kind of ease that in. We
yeah,
ain't on that
you
level.
gotta know how to speak to a person. You know what I'm saying? How to bring up conversation. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing too. You know, knowing how to have a conversation is another thing, because you can really like throw somebody off by the way you ask certain things. You know what I mean? So just I feel like when it comes to relationships, it just flows. Like, you know, that's just how I live my life. You know, I don't like to plan for nothing. I just like the stuff for the flow. Honestly, yeah.
All right, so the last one for this video is, what is the biggest? So this question is for me and Chris. This question is for me and Chris specifically. What is the biggest lesson that you have learned from each other?
So the biggest lesson that I know I've learned is patience, really. It's one of those things I've learned from her, because I feel like definitely when you're dealing with somebody else, you definitely gotta be more patient, because now it's two people going in and thinking about how to you know, attack certain situations. So it's not just you know, thinking about how to solve a problem and then moving on it. You know, now it's two people. You know, you got 2 times the problems now. You know, or you know, y'all both working on the same issue. So you know, you attacking something from 2 different angles now. So you know, whenever you got a perspective, know that there's another perspective at the same time, and it may not be the same as yours. So you know, you're gonna have to be more patient with your decision making now. That's pretty much what I learned from her, is more so patience on decision making.
I would say for me, well, one of them would be patience for me as well, because I know like when it comes to patience, I do have to think about somebody else, because I'm always go. Chris is like, wait, let's think about it, let's sit on it real quick, give me a second before I make a decision. And I'm like, let's do it now. And I feel like, for me personally, I'm learning to kind of sit on things, to kind of think about it, because it bites me in the butt in the end, because I'll be so quick to make a decision and I'll automatically regret it once I'm into whatever that is. So I know, like, I have to learn to kind of sit on it, think about it, weigh the pros and cons on things. Another thing is something that I learned, like, there is someone out there for you if you don't think there is. It's possible. It really is possible. I know before, you know, I met Chris and, you know, we got into our relationship, I was not in a good space, and I really thought, like, okay, I ain't gonna never find nobody, like, this is not it. And Chris came along and I'm like, okay, too good to be true, y'all, too good to be true. But it's just like, that's just who he is. And like, my friends, they're like, sis, like, look, he said he got you and he gave me his word, and like, he really got you. And it's just like, if you can like impress my friends, not even saying impress, like, you give my friends the word, and like my family really likes you, and it's not like nothing awkward or weird, and it's just like, okay, all right, okay, he might really be the one. And it's just like, you know, when he give me his own word, like, I take that. I know you're going to give whatever you tell me you want to do. I know you're going to do it, because he delivers on whatever he said he's going to do for me and for our relationship. So again, like, there's someone out there for you if you don't think anyone is out there for you. I promise you there is someone out there for you. And another thing, I'm going to keep going. Another thing Chris told me is just how to love myself more. And like, it's okay to be vulnerable with a person, because they won't take advantage of that. Like, Chris tapped in on my soft side, y'all, because y'all already know At first, I really wasn't like the lovey-dovey. But like Chris really tapped into my soft side, and like I thank him for that, because I look at things so much differently. Like I feel things more, and I have more empathy for things, honestly. And I just feel like, you know, without that, I'll be somewhere else mentally and just physically somewhere else, honestly. It's just a laundry list of things that I can say that I learned from Chris, but those are like the top things that I can think of right now. But like, yeah, I learned a lot from you, baby. All right, y'all, that's the rest of the video. Again, this will be a 2-part series. We're gonna ask our followers again to get more thoughts or things that they want advice on. But we really had a great time making this video. Can't wait to bring you all another video on the channel. Again, we trying to hit 100 subscribers by the end of December. So we really are gonna work that out so we can get our subbies up. So again, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And thank you again for watching us, and thank you for catching up with Hans. See y'all.